Also, this is film number 100. Well done, guys.
Whichever one it is that we're talking about.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The one with the asshole.
Uh-huh.
Just
The
finished
Italian
watching it. Just finished watching it.
What a
Me too.
film.
That's why I was late. I just finished it. I was late.
I could not take my eyes off the screen again. It was such an interesting idea. It was crude. It was like, in your face. It was all done on the fly in Italy. But there's this guy, a self-destructive guy, in this sadomasochistic relationship with this girl, and kills her. And he basically he thinks his position's going to save him. It's great. And that was my theory, is that he just,
and maybe his position does save him.
Maybe it eventually does, but you think it's not gonna.
Right,
oh no, I think they just play out the whole scene, that they just redo it again.
So the dream sequence is exactly what actually happens.
Yeah.
No, not funny per se, but it's a satire.
It is a satire, yeah.
And a little
it's
surrealistic.
right on the edge, man.
And I mean, if you look at this guy's other movies, Elio Petri, he made one later called The Working Class Goes to Heaven with John Maria Valente also as a factory worker. So it's definitely got a bunch of Italian politics in it.
Oh yeah, well that's all over this movie. The whole.
Well, it's got the Kafka quote at the end because it is surreal, and it's an exercise, and it really goes down the Kafka, train at the end there.
Whatever he may seem to us, he is yet a servant to the law. That is, he belongs to the law, and as such is set beyond human judgment.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, which is also
he's above suspicion.
Oh yeah, well,
and that's really a comment. That's really a comment on, what all law enforcement is in America at this day and age, right?
It was
really seemed very timely.
I thought it was timely. Yeah.
Pretty hilarious at the end during the what I'm calling the dream sequence, where everybody was assembled in his apartment, and he kept trying to confess, and they were tearing up the photos of evidence and all toasting and eating from the buffet
and smoking cigars.
They did make him eat salt, though.
Yeah, what's the significance of that?
So I was going to ask you guys.
So he makes the political prisoners drink salt water, because it's torture.
It's humiliation too.
Yeah.
I mean, Mussolini used to, their interrogation technique was to make people drink castor oil. They would give them a glass full of it.
And then prevent them from going to the bathroom.
And then so they just shit themselves basically. And they're
achieving a certain level of humiliation.
Yeah.
But
so I felt it was that.
And
there's also when you baptize a baby in the Catholic Church, there's a thing where you put some salt on their gums,
right,
at some point.
Yeah, it's indoctrinating him into their society. He's moved beyond a citizen, and citizenship is such an important thing in this movie. He's moved beyond a citizen at this point. He's now part of the ruling class.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's also interesting that happens
or after
as opposed to a Hollywood movie. That happens at the very beginning of the film, and yet he spends all of his time back in his old section, homicide section.
Yeah.
Did he think that he killed her, then moved from the homicide to political section? He thought that would kind of help him get away from the crime? Or you think
in one of the flashbacks, it looks like he kills her because she calls him a baby. You make a baby
with Jim.
Because he's
so hilarious.
She cheats on him with that guy at the beach, and then she talks shit about his prowess, and she starts talking about his, when she's on the phone calling him in the early parts, she's making fun of him for smelling weird and being a cop and all that other stuff. So then when it comes back around after she's cheated on him and he thinks that he deserves her and whatever, that's why he kills her.
But they also play those reenactment games. So there's a fine line even in their fun relationship where murder is tantalizing a little.
The first line in the movie is, "How are you going to kill me tonight?"
And he says, "I'm going to slit
your throat."
And
then he does,
He
but
does.
you don't see everything that happens in between those two things, right? Until the end of the movie.
Well, we get some flashbacks, so we start to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
She has
I think
this weird
Tarantino
fetish.
could learn something.
She has this fetish for cops and people in power.
Well, and daddies.
Yeah. And then she kind of flips it on him at the end, and he doesn't like it at all.
Yeah, she didn't really strike me as that realistic in terms of a fully rounded character.
Of a character?
Yeah, you know.
Was anything in this movie realistic?
No.
I
don't think it's supposed to be.
This had the
realistic.
roots of a 70s political thriller.
I think the idea of someone in power getting away with literally murder is very realistic.
Mm-hmm.
However, the exploration here is surrealistic. Right?
This would have been a really good pick with Stander.
Oh yeah, huh?
I had a different thought in mind with that.
Yeah, no, I know you, but I mean, like, it's kind of like similar, right?
Well, except and the difference is that Stander's a true story and this isn't.
Right,
but they're examining the same basic ideas.
Yeah.
Yes,
but they're doing it in very different ways. Like,
and the other difference is, and the reason I wouldn't have picked this with Stander is because Stander is about somebody who's a hero of the people, and this is about somebody who persecutes the people.
Yeah, who's a repressor.
He totally goes into it.
Yeah.
Trying to bring back authoritarianism.
I mean, the whole torture scene with the Pacho's friend there, the skinny dude.
Yeah.
Who is coded as, it's funny because he keeps saying you're a citizen, but he's also very coded as being not the same race.
Yeah, I assumed he was like from North Africa.
He's from Libya, definitely.
Yeah, it's very odd.
But that's what happened is they imported a bunch of people and then repressed them. And I mean, we can go back to talking about what was that Corsican movie that Jared picked?
The Prophet.
That was Chris.
Prophet. Yeah.
Which one?
Kill me, tanned corpses.
Yeah.
No.
Prophet.
A prophet.
Yeah.
Prophet. Yeah.
Oh, the prophet.
Jared Pick.
In jail.
Yeah. Which is
I've seen 2 Corsican movies.
I know.
You're welcome, Jim. You're welcome.
This is our first Italian one, though, right? In all the
That's
100?
actually, I think, A Prophet's more of a French film with Corsican characters.
Right.
The French one's Sardinian and this one's Corsican. So just want to, or vice versa. I never get them straight because Italy owns one and France owns the other one. So,
well, but I mean, Italy used to own Corsica.
Yeah. So
I like this. I like this film a lot. I like these kinds of films. It's dark. The way it does go into surrealist territory. I love that. Particularly, of course, you know, the standout is this lead character's performance. It's just phenomenal.
And you recognize him, of course, from A Few Dollars More, right?
Yeah.
He's Indio.
Oh,
Smoking reefer.
I've rarely I can't remember a more recent.
Oh, I see his face every time they had a close up of him. It was like, oh my god, where's Clint Eastwood?
In terms of his performance, though, the power that he wields and the respect that he commands in this film.
Yeah,
I don't remember a more a recent performance. I can't remember that's more sort of in that realm that I took so seriously and is so impactful. Like he's
definitely.
And I know that's the crux of the film, but it just works so well with this actor.
Well, and the respect is entirely derivative of his position on the ladder. Like it's not that he commands respect as a person; it's that his stature commands respect.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, you know, both the actor in playing the role and then the character that he's playing backs that up with such confidence that you don't question it.
Well, the scene where he's talking to the scene where he takes over in the political department, he's giving that speech.
That opening speech, yes.
Where he is just doing his best Mussolini impression, and he's pointing at them, and he's repression to civilization and all that other stuff. Like it's perfect. Like he has that fascist character nailed.
Yeah.
Also, I love the stuff that happened in the surveillance basement and all these people listening in on conversations and like
Yeah.
that. This film was like a proto version of like a 70s paranoid thriller. This was like one of the first examples I can think of. I mean,
where often the police are at least ignoring, if not involved.
Yeah, exactly. There's
it was interesting the way he was being introduced to it. It's like, and here is our computer. First, they showed him all the paper files that they were keeping on everyone, just a giant room full of papers, and then it was like, and here we're putting it all on a computer so you can just look up everyone.
Right.
It was a proto paranoia because it was the beginning of the computer age.
And what do they say? And what do they say about
that? And they're also tapping every single phone call. They're like,
felt like it. Every phone in Rome was probably being tapped.
No shit.
And what do they say? What do they say about the computer?
They just listen to anything.
They just listen to everybody. Yeah.
What do they say about the computer? This is America.
They kept tapping on America over and over again in this movie.
Wow. I
noticed that.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is it's an IBM mainframe. This is America come to Italy.
Now, where's my lawyer? This isn't America, you know.
Right.
This is also an interesting
because this is the beginning of American cultural hegemony.
Yeah, right in the middle of it, really.
I think you feel the
because it's post-war.
Yeah.
And this came out in 1970, right?
Yes.
50 years ago. 50
you really do feel the 60s and the 70s both in this film.
Yes.
Yeah.
You feel. I mean, look at that whole first scene where he murders her. Her whole place, her wardrobe, that's all 60s cinema, right?
Well, that's all the Nouveau, was it Art Nouveau?
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of Bertolucci, you know?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, like the computers and the police station. I mean, that's all 70s, right? And
all brutalist architecture and the whole exactly. This film had a great look. It was all done in medium shots. You ever notice that? There's almost no.
I did like the way that it looked a lot.
Some good close-ups too. Here
super close-ups and then medium shots. Yes.
Yeah. That's
and the super close-ups are like, you know, the spaghetti westerns again. You know,
same here. It's a little bit Sergio Leone because it was all like know, Italian films get in your face. You know, that's
almost a few like of those. What do you call them? Not the tilt shift, but it almost felt like the
split diopter.
Split diopter. It wasn't exactly, but it had a few of the shots had that feeling. Yeah.
If this was split diopter behind Chris, those guys would be in focus.
But
then this.
You know what was always in focus? Like every hair on his head.
Oh, can I
every
also say
zit on his face?
Can I also say that I wanted to floss everyone's teeth in this movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
The Criterion version of this is so gorgeous.
That's the one I watched.
It's
They really did a gorgeous job cleaning this up.
That whole thing at the beginning where they talk about how all the people contributed money to it, including the American Film Association. Yeah, exactly. Just give them all the money.
I had never heard this movie.
They reached the limits of the crappy way they shot it. You know, they can't improve it anymore. It's just you're right on the edge of every single grain and every single scratch.
This must have all been post, like the lip syncing.
Yeah, it's all.
We're talking about this.
Ever lined up?
No, even the Italian doesn't line up.
This was all ADR, but
let's be 100% ADR. Even
that's
the
way they used to do it. They shoot everything silent. It's so much faster if you don't have to get good sound and you just dub everything.
And a lot of the actors were like in Fellini movies were non-professionals, right? They were just like regular people. They would just have them count. It's just like move your mouth, you know. We'll dub the dialogue in later.
Well, you saw that one shot in there at the beginning where the press was involved. It was a down angle and like a press scrum, and there was a guy with an Arri 2C.
Yeah.
Whirring away there. That's probably one of the production cameras, you know.
Yeah.
So everything they shoot anything, they get wild audio and just like people just yelling over like that grinding of the cameras, basically.
Like I heard the Giallo films, they would actually just cast people from all different countries, so no one was even speaking the same language to each other.
Oh yeah.
And they would just dub in later, right? So you would actually be doing a scene with like, you'd be Italian, you'd be doing a scene with like a French person. You're not even saying, like, you can't communicate, but it's just go ahead, and then they just dub it in.
Oh yeah, you used to
I think that's hilarious.
Except for this scene where the microphone is right here.
Right there. Yeah, but I think that microphone is a prop.
No, because they're playing it over the speaker in the other room too. Yeah. Like they are doing that.
But they were doing these whip pans down on that scene. So
I noticed that.
they could have caught that, you know.
Did later
it kind of sounds like we're done. So
I give this movie thumbs up. The guy was a total asshole, but I thought it basically nailed everything.